Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And the hotter the takes, the cooler the jazz.
I'm Shaun.
I'm Remington Chase.
Alright, Remington, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you.
That's how I prefer it.
I don't think you and I are qualified to talk about this anime.
Hey, well, I have great news for you, Shaun.
What's that, Rem?
I don't know if you're aware,
Okay.
but we are in a certain class of individuals, right?
Alright.
A small but ever-growing class of individuals that specialize in talking about things that they are unqualified to do. And that is two white guys with a podcast. So
that
I have
is our
stellar
niche
news.
demographic.
Being unqualified to talk about something, because we are two white guys with a podcast, we automatically are qualified to talk about things we're not qualified to talk about.
The loophole. I see.
That's how it works. That's how it goes.
You know, I'm just glad that we're finally getting the representation we need, Rem.
About time. For too long, white guys with podcasts have been underrepresented. Look. Hey, man, I'm just saying. According to a bunch of other white guys with podcasts, I don't know if you knew this, Shaun, but we're being silenced. Just look at all the podcasts that have told me so. We're being actively silenced.
The man is coming down hard on our anime podcast, all just because we're two white guys with a podcast.
They're trying to prevent our really deep existential insights, such as Attack of Titan bad, from disseminating into the world.
God help us. The sheep aren't ready for our hottest of takes and coolest of jazz. But no,
What can I say? You know, I guess you could really say we're like the philosophers of the modern era.
Oh, God.
I guess if you ignore, like, philosophers who do exist.
Yeah, I mean, philosophy is still a thing. It's not like, Aristotle died and that was it. Game over, man. People still do philosophy. But no, Rem, there's a reason we're not qualified to talk about it. Because, Rem, as two white men with a podcast who are also American, what is the one sport that, as Americans, we are not allowed to talk about?
I would say croquet.
You know?
We had a revolution for a reason, all right?
And that specifically because of the incessant croquet that was happening in 1776.
One could argue that croquet is the most imperialist of sports. And so there we go. Lock that in.
Wow, Remy nailed it. We're doing a croquet anime today. I never would have guessed.
Truly a booming genre.
A booming genre. I mean, I've said in the past that there's a sports anime for every sport, and I still stand by that.
I'm still waiting on my professional wrestling anime.
I mean, there are a couple of those. There's also some boxing ones. Whether or not you'd enjoy them, though, that's a different question entirely, my guy.
Yeah.
But also out of curiosity, apparently croquet first played 1856. So off by 100 years, but that's fine. It's still funny.
Who cares about history anyway?
Yeah, no, we're an anime podcast. But think a bit larger scale, Rem. It's widely considered to be the international sport of the world.
And then of course you're talking about good old American soccer.
Yep. Or as the rest of the world calls it, football.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Why would we ever call it football? We over here we got a lovely hand egg. That's football, baby.
Yeah, the hand egg is football over here, and if we say football, that's what people are going to assume.
It's properly 1984, mate. Just renaming things. Oh, you don't use your feet. It's not a ball. It's madness, all right?
I mean,
it's political correctness gone mad.
Political correctness gone mad.
They try to convince you that hand egg is football. Football is soccer. It doesn't make any bloody sense.
I apologize deeply to all the people in the UK who listen to us.
This episode already, it's a wild one. I don't know if this is a good episode so far, or if it's absolute trash. But hey,
it's gonna be an experience. If this is somebody's first episode of the podcast, Rem, like it's gonna be hard to describe to them what we're like normally. But sometimes we just go on tangents. But yeah, no.
All right, so we're dealing with the football anime.
Yeah, the first time we've ever played. We don't play sports. The first time we've ever talked about a soccer anime, which is wild considering there are loads of them. But Ren, most recently in this past year, we had a anime come out that people really want us to talk about. Like, and I mean really. I've got at least 30 emails being like, hey.
Oh my god.
Hey, talk about this one. And it's a soccer anime simply titled Blue Lock.
All right. I don't give it great odds.
No. All right, because all of our sports anime runs have left you either violently angry or neutral.
Yeah. Unfortunately, look, sports shows, even non-anime sports shows, I don't find wildly compelling.
It depends on the mood for me, and it has to be the right show, but I can get invested in a sports show. Question is will this be the one to break the streak, Rem? Because it is insanely popular when this one came out. And that's because of its slightly different premise. Because rather than a bunch of high schoolers playing soccer, and trying to win nationals, which is every other plot in sports anime, this one is, well, I would describe it as... Do I make this joke?
Yeah, you're here now. You gotta.
I would describe it as soccer eugenics.
Oh my god! All right, well, here we are, folks.
Oh,
this is
God.
Intense.
I don't know if we can keep that in. But let me just give you the basic premise of this, Rem. So soccer is wildly important world round, right?
Yep.
And the most important event is usually the World Cup. When countries go head to head and everybody's vying to win. It's very passionate. This story, Blue Lock, is about Japan having a strong desire to win the World Cup, essentially, through whatever means necessary.
Okay. Oh, shit.
And so, a program is designed
oh, no.
with the premise of, hey, what do all these great soccer teams have in common that Japan doesn't? And that's a star striker. You familiar with what a striker is, Rem?
Sure. Relatively self-explanatory.
It's basically like the main offensive player, the one that is really good at kicking the ball and getting the goals.
Yeah.
And I know that's a gross oversimplification, soccer fans. Believe me, I know. Believe it or not, I used to play soccer. Weird, right? Granted, I was 9, but hey, I have that.
Were you a fucking champion?
Oh man, I quit after I got trampled by my cohorts.
Strangely enough, I also played a bit of the soccer when in my youth. When I was 8 or 9. And our team won 1 game.
Yeah. Thankfully, my team won like 3 games. No thanks to me. Like, let's be perfectly clear. Just because I played soccer does not mean that I played well.
For me, I was the 3rd or 4th best on my team.
Ooh, that's not great, bud.
I was not good.
No.
We had 2 good people on the team. I tried, which by default made me the 3rd best.
Yeah. I think I scored maybe 1 goal in my year of playing soccer. Or my summer, I should say. It was a summer thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So if we get any soccer terms wrong, you'll have to forgive us. Remember, dumb Americans. But the premise of the show is they're like, hey, we're missing what we need is a cream of the crop golden striker. One that can carry the team to victory, which you might say in a team-based sport feels counterproductive.
Yeah.
But great players can make a difference all the time. I mean, that's sports in a nutshell. So
Sometimes you just need to get LeBron, pass LeBron the ball, win.
Hey, Rem, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Name 2 other basketball players.
All right. Well, we got Kobe Bryant, Rip, and Dwayne Wade.
Oh, shit. Well, all right. Cool.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right. Hey, you know what? I have egg on my face. You've proved me wrong. Better than I could do, quite frankly. God, the only professional sport we have here is basketball. Jazz games, my God. Bears love jazz. At any rate, the premise, straightforward, Rem, is they basically set up a Superdome and fill it with about 300 young aspiring strikers, and are going to put them through a brutal boot camp / hell to weed them out one by one until they have the perfect striker. And that is the premise of this show.
Good God.
So, nice and healthy. Nice and healthy. Definitely won't be any problems coming from that. But, Rem, you've wanted a different types of sports show, so I figured that this would be a great way to do it. Plus, people really want to know what you think about it.
Of course.
Do you have any questions about it so far?
It seems a bit wily, but it's where we're at.
Okay, Rem. Before we get started, I just want you to look at the poster and tell me what your first impression is.
Oh, here we go. It's a psychological thriller.
Correct, Rem.
It feels, all right. This is just gonna be football Hunger Games.
Hey, Rem, you nailed it. Congratulations. Just with no death, theoretically. They might be... I'm gonna be real honest with you, Rem. Once people are eliminated, you don't see them again. So, there is a possibility
Oh my God.
that these guys are getting got. So, why have 300 great, decent soccer players when you can have one really good one and 299 dead ones,
Yeah.
So I think without further ado, let's go into the widely requested Blue Lock. I would describe it as soccer eugenics. And we are back after watching 3 whole episodes of the Fall 2022 anime Blue Lock. And Remington, was this the sports anime to change your view on sports anime for all eternity? Or is this a concerningly questionable show to begin with?
Well, Shaun, first, I like how it's changing up the formula, right?
Right.
Once again, Hunger Games, but soccer.
Right.
I think that's a neat little weird idea. Let's face it, I mean, shows like this are a hit where it's just, hey, fucked up game, let's go, right?
Right.
We see it, like Squid Game is the pinnacle example. But I feel like it should be a little bit more Squid Game. Namely, you gotta kill the losers. Kill them kids. Because right now it's like, oh, if you fail, you'll never be on the Japanese team for the World Cup. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like you can have other goals. I feel like they treat it as if that's the end all be all, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's other things you can be doing.
But
still.
Rem, soccer is so important to everybody in this show.
Go to another country and play soccer for them. There you go, bud.
That feels like too easy of a solution, Rem.
I just kind of don't care when they're eliminated. They make in episode 1, there's an elimination that's they make it a big, huge deal, and I just don't give a damn. I'm not like, oh shit, they're gonna fucking die. I'm just like, alright, they'll be disappointed for a bit, which statistically, all of them would have been anyway. So, okay. Alright, Shaun.
Yep.
We're gonna play rock, paper, scissors, and if you lose, you don't win the lottery.
Oh, no.
Okay. Okay.
What a tragedy.
I wasn't, I wasn't gonna win the lottery anyway, so, I mean, it'd be cool. I guess maybe I'm disappointed that it's guaranteed I won't win, but, okay.
Gambling wasn't my strong suit anyways. We all know that.
Yeah. So it's disappointing. They need to go full Hunger Games, full Squid Game. Right now it's just soccer practice with a real weird coach.
Yeah.
And like that's when you recognize it like that, that's less interesting. That's loses a lot of its luster all of a sudden.
Well, Rem, what if I told you there are absolutely no deaths whatsoever in season 1?
Yeah, that's wildly disappointing.
I mean, that's not entirely true. Two
You know
parents
how many
are killed.
deaths I think there should be?
How...
I think there should be about 299.
You think they should go full scorched earth with this? They didn't commit to the soccer eugenics enough, is what you're saying.
Here, let me frame this, all right?
All right.
I'm gonna take this premise. I'm gonna script doctor it a little bit, and I recognize I've hardly talked about the show yet. Right now, we're just dealing with the concept.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's fair enough. Because I mean, 3 episodes.
It's mostly concept.
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't gonna say it.
So, once again, you have deaths. You gotta have deaths. We can keep the protagonist as he is, as I will talk about later. He's vaguely ambitious, but also a bit hesitant about all of this. He's more of a team player, even when he should be taking chances for himself. That's at least what's been indicated. Have all of that. Have him be fucked up by the deaths, especially because from this framework, he's responsible for the first elimination, and thus he'd be responsible for the first death. Which, that'll fuck him up sufficiently.
That'd be pretty heavy, yeah.
Which then can start to, we want him to grow calloused and cold, right? Eventually, he becomes the amazing striker, right? He's cold, calculated, selfish, and there's 299 people's blood on his hands. And eventually, he gets the World Cup, all right? He gets the World Cup. He's been taught to be selfish and greedy. And at the World Cup, he scores a ton of points. He's very impressive. But because he's so selfish, his team ends up losing. And it's like a nice little bittersweet. All right, he was created exactly how they wanted him to be created. He is the star of the match overall, but he still didn't win. Is that victory? Is that success? Etc. etc. Was it all worth it? There you go. Then you're set. Then you're set.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice short, like, hell, you could turn that into like one movie, honestly.
You could. But right now, this is a weird fucking show. I guess let's get into the actual story. So we have our main character, Asagi, and we open up, it's a game qualifying for nationals, and he's getting close to the goal, but he's not 100% sure if he can score it. But his partner, one of his teammates, they're in a really good position to score, so he passes to them, but then they miss. Then the other team, their star player scores, and unfortunately that's a loss for Asagi. He's not going to nationals. The other team, they scored using their star player Kira. Kira, he's just incredible. He's also just an overall nice guy. He's just a nice, talented dude. Eventually, so Asagi is very disappointed. He's like, this is shit, dude. Not going to nationals. Feel like a fuck up. But he gets invited by the Japan Football Union. He's been selected. He doesn't really understand like what's going on, but he's like, sure. He sees Kira there, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up? Let's go in. We basically get the elevator from Danganronpa, where it's just a compact space with a bunch of people with weird hair. And
I mean, as far as weird anime hair goes, like, it's pretty tame on the spectrum, I feel. Like,
they're different, like, colors and stuff. They're distinct.
Yeah, they're not generic side characters. Well,
yeah. Well,
yeah, I mean,
in hair.
One of them is bald-ish.
We meet our wacky teacher, mentor. I don't know. He's like dark and evil, but also a teacher who might be right. Who knows? His name is Ego, because they're real subtle. They're real.
Subtlety is masterful here.
And he's gonna guarantee that Japan wins the World Cup. The Blue Lock facility and training program. Kira is like, no, this is bullshit. I have nationals, and and like Ego just went on a tangent about how you need to be selfish as a striker, and Kira's like, no, they're like, it's a fucking team game, dumbass.
Weird. I feel like I said something similar at the start of the episode.
Which here's okay. All right. So the whole story arc
Right.
is that Asagi is too much of a team player, and so he's unable to be the best striker that he can be. But I don't think this is controversial to say. Sure, you might personally score a few fewer goals if you're less selfish, but your team will score more overall on average.
Yeah. I mean,
So you'll win more.
yeah. Hey, Rem, it's a team sport.
It's such a weird story arc to be like, oh yeah, to be really good at soccer, he just needs to learn to be selfish? I don't know what the story is here. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Well, Rem, I feel like it's a dark exploration of selfishness so that he can fall into the deepest pits of soccer despair and eventually come back out of it on top, recovering and being like, hey, you know what? Actually, it is a team game. At least that's how I'm going to predict the show goes, because that's...
But here's the fucking thing. Him thinking it's a team game is why he's failing right now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So the show's presenting it as, hey, you're too much of a team player. That's why you're losing. You need to change it up. And sure, they could have the arc of learning greed, but then really learning that the greed isn't actually the solution. But then why the fuck did you start him as such a team player? Why not start him a little greedy, but perhaps a little hesitant, right? Maybe his problem is that he's hesitant, not that he's a team fucking player. Because right now it's that he's a team player. That is his flaw. What? And then it's like, oh, turns out being a team player is actually the solution. But that's where he was at the beginning. That's what he was fucking doing at the beginning. So how do you reconcile that? What the fuck is this story? I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know what they're trying to say. I don't know what their message is.
Well, Rem, what they're trying to say is, if you want to be good at soccer, you have to be at least as good as Pele.
And that's why, like, in my little script doctoring, I'm like, oh, the way that this, like, should theoretically end in my ideal state is he goes to the World Cup, he is the star player of the game overall, but his team loses, right? And then it's like, okay, so is that success? He is the star player who's the best player in the game, but he didn't win, because that's what this philosophy ultimately leads to. Is that the desirable goal, and you leave that ambiguous? Because I'm like, what other direction can you reasonably go without being accused accurately of poor storytelling? I just don't know, man.
You seem a little perturbed, Rem. You seem a little frustrated. Did I also mention that there's 24 episodes of this first season with a second season
24?
on the way?
No, why? What do you mean there's a second season? Surely season 1 just ends with a winner.
No.
Fuck off.
Hey, spoilers, but they do the most bullshit sports thing, and they end it with the prelude to what is essentially the most important game yet.
Fuck
the
you.
final game, yeah. So it's like, oh, the final game will be in season 2.
But then how do you have an entire season 2? All right, so finishing episode 1, they are like, all right, someone will be, here's rooms of 12 people. Somebody is going to be eliminated based on soccer tag. We start with the worst player, number 300 of 300, this guy. Number 300, right? They play him off like he is just so fucking incompetent. He's the 300th best striker in Japan, and as we learn, he has been seeded with the other 11 bottom ranked people out of the top 300, right? So it would be, I guess, 300 to 288 or something like that, right? But they play him off like, oh, he hardly knows how to play the fucking game. He's obviously the worst. He's so fucking bad. Look, y'all, the difference between 300 and 297, not that significant.
Nope.
They play it off like it's hugely significant. It fucking ain't. But because they felt the need to have a little comedy character who fucking sucks, they just make him bad. And I'm like, why? Why? Oh, God. And plus, other people seem worse than him, straight up. Because he's passively bad, but others are, like, actively detrimental. I don't understand. Anyway, they play this little game. Eventually, Asagi becomes it, and he's like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna get eliminated. Oh, shit. He could eliminate 300, but he decides not to, because he's like, I don't know, there's some bullshit about, like, oh, but I should be targeting the best people. Which, like, homie, you have 60 seconds, like, this, you gotta take what you can. But then, a crazy guy, let's see, what's his name?
There's a lot of crazy guys, so you're gonna have to be more specific. Are we talking about, Bachira?
I'm looking, yeah, Bachira. Bachira, who his thing is, he's so wacky. Oh my god, he's wacky. Oh, he's a little bit crazy. He's a little bit unhinged. Oh, but he's having a good time, but in like a crazy dark way. Ooh, he's the Joker. I'm losing it. Bachira, he's like, oh, you know what? Great idea. He takes the ball, thus becoming it. And he's like, gotta eliminate the best out of the 12. And he identifies Kira as the best of the 12. So he tries to eliminate him, ends up, he misses, but it basically passes it to Asagi, who instinctively kicks it and eliminates Kira. And Kira then has, as we see in like episode 2, has this, like, he goes from calm, cool, collected to freaking the fuck out. Which I just don't, it's not a big deal. Like, I just don't care.
Rem,
I do not care.
But Rem, I mean, this is probably the most popular sport in the world. Surely there must be a massive amount of weight to everybody who sees what they're going through, right?
Just go overseas, bro.
It does feel like there are lots of solutions to this problem.
If you were good enough to get onto a World Cup team and win the World Cup, you can probably find another way.
Oh, but Rem, there's not 300 slots in the world, so surely the bottom, like, 100 players.
Well, yeah, because most of them weren't gonna make it anyway. Yeah. In fact, almost all of them wouldn't have fucking made it, because that's the fucking nature of sports, all right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it big time, and that's okay. You don't need to. And so, oh no, they're not gonna be able to make it big. They weren't anyway! The 300th best striker in Japan is probably not making it to not just the 300th best striker under the age of 18 probably isn't making it to the World Cup. Like, that's just,
and
don't give a fuck.
Really, I feel like the biggest question here is, if they were able to accurately rank all these kids in the first place, why are they doing this at all?
Well, and they mentioned that, like, oh, part of it, like, part of the rankings were his bias or whatever, which, hey, at least you're acknowledging that. But nonetheless, within your biases, you think you know who's the best. And maybe they'll pull the rankings were false, that's why Asagi has been the second last position, and actually, he was the top spot, or some bullshit. Like, maybe, I don't know, they could pull something like that, which I think would be dumb, but very well could happen. So Kira is pissed, right? He's been eliminated, even though he didn't care about this. He was very much against it. I don't really know why he decided to sign up, really. But he's pissed, and he's like, how is this even relevant? Soccer tag, that's not properly soccer. And Ego goes on this, frankly, pretentious explanation that is bad. It's a bad explanation for how it's relevant.
But he mentions Pele. That's what's important.
He does. Goddamn, he does. A bunch of meaningless shit happens before they announce that it's going to be a game, and there's going to be a handful of games, decide, like, people who get eliminated. And Ego, the one in charge, he's like, all right, but the way you're going to play these games, don't use positions. You're all forwards, all right? So that's the superior way. But then we quickly see in the first game that they play in episode 3, they lose because they all try to play as forwards. Meanwhile, the other team starts out that way, but then is like, oh, what if we actually, like, had positions? And then they dominate, thus disproving what Ego said, because that was obviously wrong, in which case What the fuck is the point of this show? What is this show trying to communicate? Because if it's just, hey guys, did you know soccer required teamwork? I'd be like, yeah, of course. And then it'd be like, hey, but what if it was actually better to sometimes be selfish? And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And they're like, but actually, it's not. And I'm like, then why? What? If you're giving advice, right? It's like, oh, hey, Shaun.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know the best? Hear me out. This is gonna sound so. What do you think a good way to make friends is in life?
Oof. I mean, I would say
Just good, like, rule of thumb.
Being nice and talking to people, probably.
Being nice and talking to people. What if I were to tell you, Shaun?
Yeah.
That actually the best way to make friends is by approaching them and punching them in the face. All right. Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm here. I'm listening.
And then I talk about this for a while. But then, as it turns out, Shaun, after a long-winded explanation of why it's better to punch them in the face, as it turns out, it's better to just be nice to them. Who would have thought? Everybody! Everybody already fucking knew that! So why did you have to pretend to reinvent the wheel only to explain to us what we already fucking knew? Or are you sticking by your trash advice? Which one is it? Because either way, it's bad.
Rem, just because I punched you in the face when we first met doesn't mean you have to keep bringing it up.
And then here's the thing. Ego will often go on these monologues, right? These long-winded bullshit.
Oh, believe me, I know. Believe me, I know.
They're self-indulgent and pretentious with, hey, I get.
Yep.
If anybody gets it.
It is kind of your wheelhouse, isn't it?
But if you're going to be self-indulgent and pretentious, yeah, you should at least also be interesting, right? Like, one of my favorite shows of all time is Midnight Mass. Would strongly recommend it. It's on Netflix. That show is accused, fairly accurately, of having too much dialogue, and a lot of it is quite self-indulgent and pretentious. But it's also wildly fascinating, and there's really cool ideas explored, both just philosophically and within the characters and between them. It's very well done. So it's okay to be self-indulgent and pretentious sometimes if you're actually saying something. Ego doesn't. He goes on these long monologues where he's just like, hey, what if it's better to, I don't know, be selfish or something? Did you know that Pele was selfish? And it's like, what do you...
Which I don't think Pele would have appreciated that. Like, I don't know the guy, but I know he's dead now, so it's like, I feel like making the show after he's died and saying that, it's like, a little bit mean. A little bit mean.
Like, they're like, oh, you shouldn't do positions, but you should each have a role and destroy the other one's positions. And it's like, if you're gonna, you should each be different classes of forward. For example, it would be like, all right, Shaun, we're gonna play D&D, all right?
All right.
But everybody is gonna be a fighter, all right? That being said, I'll allow you to be a fighter with healing powers. You can be a fighter with magic powers. You can be a fighter who's made a pact with a devil, giving you other types of powers. You're a fighter that's particularly good with music. It's like, you're just describing classes. You're just going back.
Well, Rem, and that actually really depends on the full extent of the subclasses you're going into, because I mean there are fighters that can do a little bit of magic, you know. Like,
fair.
Like,
but I think my point is understood.
Yeah, your point is understood. You're saying that they're just like, hey, you're gonna be a fighter, but actually you're also gonna be a goalie.
Yeah, and it's like, then that's just the goalie, dude. It's not like, oh, you're a forward, but who specializes in being a goalie. No, you're fucking goalie. Why are you reconstructing soccer in such a pretentious way, saying so much irrelevant bullshit? I don't know what this show's trying to do. And that's side point. While at some points this show it's like beautiful and it has some cool animation, other times it has some of the worst fucking CGI.
Oh yeah.
Like the CGI hallways, at some points it'll be a random CGI ball, which feels weird. Dude, this show's fucking with me, man.
So you're telling me that this hasn't done for you what people were hoping for with sports anime?
Yeah, definitely fucking not.
Would you say this is the worst sports anime we've ever seen?
Probably not, unfortunately.
I feel like Kuroko no Basuke is still like fresh in your mind.
Oh God. Oh man. Yeah, unfortunately, sports anime pretty universally trash. So what are you gonna do?
Careful. The volleyball fans are going to get pissed at you again if you say things like that.
The best sports anime was the figure skating one.
I mean, to be fair, Yuri on Ice is pretty peak. That is fair. But that's because it's not just about the sports. It's about the sports and the characters, which I feel like this show was trying to be, but at the same time, it's throwing a bunch of essentially type A personalities in a room and telling them to fight each other and also to work together. Like, it doesn't exactly... Interesting character dynamics are not exactly a thing in this show, I will say.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we have 11 characters on the team who all have unique hairstyles, but there's, like, 2 personalities we've seen amongst the 11, and neither of them are particularly compelling. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vapid Himbo and Psycho Dick. Like, those are like the 2 leading personalities.
Yeah, I guess there's also, like, one guy is noble but angry as well.
I feel like that falls in the dick category.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to go with here.
Like, could you name any of the side characters off the top of your head right now?
No! No!
Could you at least tell me a name to a hairstyle? Like, do you remember who Chigiri is, for example?
I'm going to... Okay, let's see. I will choose the white-haired one that likes to eat.
No, that's Nagi. That's Seishiro Nagi.
Oh, of course. How could I have forgotten? They're so pivotal.
Yeah. Chigiri Hyoma is the red-haired one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. God, I feel like this could have been a decent show. Also, at one point, like, they talk about a metaphorical monster that both Bachira and Asagi have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it's, like, kind of a real monster. They have this, like, smoke effect that works, right? As, like, representing the monster. But then they show the monster in terrible CGI, and the monster's, like, smirking. It's like, oh, no.
I mean,
oh no!
You started with a nice, fun, subtle visual metaphor, and then you just made it a little too awful. And hey, let me tell you, Rem, not the last time you see that monster.
And it was like, hey, what if we took the smoke monster from Lost and then we added a few Snapchat filters? And it's like, why? Why is that necessary?
You're also really aging us by mentioning Lost. Because I still remember when that show came out and it was the hottest shit, and
it was a goddamn icon, all right?
An icon that was also a fucking mess.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey, gang, it's purgatory. Gang, it's purgatory.
J.J. Abrams' Mystery Box has destroyed a lot of fiction. It's a great concept that has fucked up so much media.
Oh, so much. So much. The fact that we're still talking about Lost to this day kind of points to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Rem, the general consensus from like the 30 plus emails we got for this, because this anime came out fall 2022, so end of last year, with 24 episodes, and we got a shit ton of recommendations for it, and about 80% of them were like, hey, Rem should watch this because we think he'll fucking hate it. And it's like, not to actively torture you, but they're like, it was either a weird spectrum of, I kind of enjoyed this show, but I want to see him tear it apart, mixed with, I actually like this show, and I think that Rem probably won't, but I'm curious to see how it'll go. Like, there's a lot of weird masochism in the audience of this show. And then there's like about 5 emails where like, this is my favorite anime of the season, and I think Remington will like it.
Yeah, no, sorry, fam.
This was also the same season that had first season of Chainsaw Man, second season of Spy Family, third season of Mob Psycho. Bochi the Rock, lots of things that you could consider quite, I don't know, competent and good.
God, I'm just still so twisted about what it's even going for.
Hey, man.
And I guess I feel like it's gonna have some type of stupid subversion by the end. Not by the end of this season, I guess. So maybe by the end of the next one.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, man. Big twist at the end is who the final fight is against, and it's hardly a twist. Because as you properly guessed, oh yeah, they're gonna climb to the top. That's definitely guaranteed.
Yeah.
But they gotta fight people outside the blue lock system while still being in the blue lock system and trying to finish up blue lock system.
I mean, there's only two candidates. One is, all right, you're gonna fight the winner of nationals. Oh shit, that's Kira's team. Or which it would be my prediction. Or it's just going to be the World Cup team or whatever.
I told you it was neither of those.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Kira doesn't really matter, Rem. If I recall correctly, I did all the research for the show, I think 3 or 4 months ago, and I don't remember if Kira shows up ever again. And if he does, maybe it'll be in the second season? But no, here's the spoiler. They have to play against some really talented international people.
This is dumb as fuck.
Yeah, it's not good, right?
But I think there's gonna be some type of twist,
right?
Where, because it'll be them growing as a team, right? That'll be the big thing. Them growing as a team, all functioning. And I think that I'm trying to imagine, but I don't think they have the balls to go through and just select one. So I think it might just be hey, your team is proven competent. That's the World Cup team. Which would be a cop-out, and I would hate it.
Well, Rem, let me put it to you this way. After 24 episodes of this series, with the way they're going things, it really feels like they're gonna do that. It really feels like they're gonna do that, and I really hope they don't, because any credit that this show had is going out the window if they actually do that.
Goddamn cowardice. And if that's the case, if that was the point all along, then why the fuck did you create Blue Lock in the way you created it? Getting a bunch of strikers, teaching them, hey, be strikers, but actually not really. I hate.
Yeah, and
it's the worst method of teaching I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Hey, I could be mistaken. Like I said, I watched it a couple months ago, give or take. But gang, it all blended together. I've watched a lot of sports anime in my time, and weirdly, this is weirdly forgettable in a lot of ways.
And it shouldn't be, because it could all right, Hunger Games but soccer, fuck yeah, all right, sure. But then you're but not really though. It's mostly just regular ass soccer. It's mostly just a team trying to work together and become good.
And a lot of angst.
Oh, okay, so what's the big twist? And it's they'll go to the World Cup if they succeed. And it's well, yeah, but couldn't you say that about a lot of sports shows where the goals just become the very best no one ever was? And then they're okay, well, yeah, but there's this wacky training program. And I'm yeah, but kind of what's the point of the wacky training program? It seems the information just isn't super relevant. And they're huh, well,
I mean, at least are the characters at least interesting in this training program?
Oh, if only.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So you're left with just wondering hey, what does this show have other than a half interesting concept that they forget about? Some decent visuals that then turn horrid as sin anytime prominent CGI is introduced. I don't.
Hey,
I think this show is gonna have a stupidly high rating.
You have that little faith in the anime community.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will be finally a different kind of sports anime, even though I really want to emphasize it's not. It vaguely in aesthetic is slightly different. That is literally it.
Out of curiosity, Rem, if you had to guess who most people's favorite character in the show is, who do you think it would be?
Oh, it's obviously Bachara.
Oh yeah, no, you nailed it. Congrats. You nailed it in one.
Oh, he's got a dark side, but he's also so silly and playful and horny.
Yeah. Look, hey, if anything, the BL that's gonna come from this series is gonna be fantastic.
Oh, immediately I was like, oh, so Kira and Asagi should fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, like
Because that scene where they're coming in to Blue Lock together and like about to learn about it, and Asagi is a little bit fangirling over Kira, and Kira's like, "Hey, no, hey, just don't be so formal with me, all right? We can be friendly with each other." And he's like, "Holy shit!" Like, I mean, you can feel you can just like emotionally sense Asagi's half chub right there. Like he is into Kira, Kira's into him. But then we never see Kira again, so fuck it.
Yeah. No, like, if anything is great is gonna come out of this, it's gonna be the BL fanfic, probably. Like, the show just radiates that energy. I mean, that's a common thing for sports anime in general, but this one especially. Like, it feels like it almost has free levels of fanfiction potential. But yeah, Rem, any guesses on the Mal score for Blue Lock?
Gonna be at least an 8. Oh, fuck. It's gonna be so dumb. Guess it depends on how good the ending is. 8 point. Oh God.
Go with your heart, Rem. Go with your heart.
2.4. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't
Does
feel
not.
right. Feels
feel-
rotten in the mouth to say.
And for frame of reference, if you were giving this a score out of 10, where would you put it?
3.
Ooh.
A
Well, Rem.
charitable 3.
Well, Rem, Blue Lot has about 273,000 ratings, so pretty popular, and it's sitting nice and pretty.
No, don't you fucking. Did I underrate it?
It's sitting nice and pretty at 8.33.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, Rem, an astonishing 89,000 people rated this an 8 out of 10. That's 32% of the votes.
I'm losing my mind.
If it makes you feel better, though, most of the written reviews that I came across were like, hey, gang, this is dumb. This is real dumb. You guys realize this is dumb, right? This is dumb.
Which
Like,
would be fine if it was like playing itself as like fun, silly, stupid sports anime, which some do, right? Then it would be like, okay, it's not my thing, but like that people can enjoy stupid shows for silly, stupid fun. No, but this show is presenting itself as something properly intelligent.
And that's the thing you hate more than anything is poorly displayed and fake intelligence.
Look, it's okay to be dumb.
Yep.
Just don't pretend that you're a genius.
Hey, I feel like you just quoted one of the emails that we got the other day, Ram. That feels a little verbatim.
a little too familiar. A little too.
How strange. I think it was about our Attack on Titan episode. Come to think of it.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, no, Ram. Like, the general consensus is a lot of people. I think you probably nailed it. Is like, this is just different enough and has enough like fan fiction potential that people are blindly enjoying it. It feels very much like a junk food type of show. And in fact, most of the email recommendations from people are like, hey, I really like the show, but I know for a fact Rem will hate it and I want to hear him tear it apart. It feels almost like a cry for help. It's like,
people are like, I really like this, but I probably shouldn't.
can you help? Can you help, Rem? Can you save them from their sin?
Yeah, hopefully I've uplifted some of you out of the miasma and the truly just the bog of Blue Lock.
I'll tell you right now, Rem, while I don't remember most of it, it was the easiest thing to research because, second monitor viewing while reading subtitles, I've gotten very good at that.
Oh my god.
I've gotten very fucking good. But hey, who knows? Maybe we're wrong about this series, Rem. Maybe the second season, by the end of that, we'll have a full, like, completely realized story arc, and it'll actually be a grand foray into sports anime. And who knows? Maybe enough people will be like, no, come back and revisit this one in the distant future once the second season is done, and you know for a fact that this will be the sports anime for you. Oh god. Also, I mean, it was produced by Bandai Namco, so I feel like your expectations should have been like listed in the first place. I mean, that's not the studio who made it, but like when the first thing you see is Bandai Namco, it's very much a there's some leanings. There are some leanings.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think with that in mind, I guess the final question I need to ask you, Rem, is there any chance you'd like to watch any more Blue Lock with me?
No. No. I mean, like, maybe have a day where you just, like, tell me how it ends so I can have, like, 15 minutes of ranting and anger, and just let it all out, but but nothing else.
That feels more like pre-banter territory than anything. And I hate to say it, but Rem, if I do that, I'm gonna have to start from the fucking beginning because I barely fucking remember the events of it. It's such a blur of a show, and not in a good way. And I'm usually good at remembering individual details and individual characters, but my god, Rem.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Rem insulting everybody's favorite international sport, then please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, wherever. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to a variety of our Twitch channels, whether that be twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext or twitch.tv/Remington Chase, where you can watch us play games, have conversations, and do weird things. That are Twitch appropriate, of course. Don't get too excited. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, I would like to send our regards.
You don't sound good, bud. You all right?
I don't feel good. I'd like to send our regards to all of our Blade Adventure protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to the yandere waifus, who, I don't know, are kicking a soccer ball into our face and eliminating. Now we'll never be in the World Cup. Oh no.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think we were ever going to be in the World Cup, Rem.
No, that doesn't matter. It's high stakes, though. Okay, on that list. So bitter. We have, my name is First Now, bitch. Oops, sorry, I was just overly excited. You're not a bitch. Please don't hurt me. Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and a reward. Zombie Stomp, Xanax, Zach Page. You guys are amazing and I love your podcast. Every time you guys upload, you make my day. I appreciate you. PS, nice voice, Dylan. Well, thank you.
Why, thank you very much.
Yee, Yandere Neko, wondering who has a bigger sword, Remington or Kirito. Why Shaun, Huvo. Weekly haiku about Shaun has been experiencing hostile takeover by a snack-loving kitty, requesting reinforcements ASAP. Watch Eva and I'll write a poem every day for a month. Walk me home gently. Utah #1, Unhinged Prax. Truck-Coon Appreciation Society. Trauma, you mean the reason why I'm funny. Totally God's Angel. Titan CNH. The villain behind glasses wants Welcome Cheetah revisit. The Susanator. That guy who changes his name to be first. Screw the other guy. That chill you feel is freezing. Is the freezing stare as you go to touch L. Bridget. Thank you for the support for my cat. Now I will offer you a MILF that you can either keep or trade for Shaun's dog to support you.
What?
Turban, Tainted Venom, Swedish Weeb, Super Zoo, Spicitis, Snaky Pie, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun's grandma is the OG White Swordsmeister, get well soon. Shaun is isekai'd into a world where everyone looks like Adam Sandler. Seth Senju, Sugoi Takai, that's what she said. Ross Palmer. Rhiannon Williams, Rem loves the big hole. Rar XT, that's I love you and Dinosaur. Queen of Egypt, Professor Fox. Penis. Paco El Musico, Other McNutt. Oopsie daisy, I had a depressive spiral and forgot to update my name again. Maybe I should go back to therapy. 1 month of my study abroad program left, and then I'll finally see my cats again. Cheer the capybara from the big hole. Oh no, I fucked my sister. Oops. Nitira, Nick Harvey. Nice legs, Daisy Dukes makes a man go do. Maya Town. Muskamelon, Mr. Peanut Butter's s'more, equal parts Bailey s'more, Screwball, vodka, whole milk, Monokuma 53, Makeka 7 Hierto, Link Joe Curl, Liam Dunn. Let's get a petition going to show Rem Boku no Pico. Leave Denji and Pachita out of harm's way, Shaun. Landon Weatherford, Kylo, Carrie Chiha, Cassidy, Just Monica, more like Just Haruhi, Joshua D's Nuts, Jax, Janine, Jam Hands, Jacob Iverson, Izzy Reese. If I had $1 every time this show said the phrase adolescent boner, I'd have way too many dollars. I'm going to McDonald's and asking if Daddy Rem's big hole is on the menu. I Remington will ruin Darling in the Franks for Encrypted Cryptid. I made Brendan's grandma wear cat ears while I hit it. I found Rem's favorite website, nobjs.org. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies. Hey, don't cough in my butt. Hey, Shaun, you give the power bottom vibes, and Remington is probably a brat. Dylan is a dom. Jesus.
Why? Okay. Cool.
Nailed it in one, really. Portuguese word of the week, dragão vermelho. Help, I've been huffing on the copium for Raguko Shinju review for 5 years now. Grocer in your neighborhood. Got wobbly bones disease, couldn't afford to drink milk. Going down on Shaun's grandma. Glenn Michael Dolan. Gaming pro tip, you can backwards long jump Jacob's ladder to enter the gates without ever confessing your sins. Just watch me.
Wow.
That's actually really funny. That's really good.
Pretty solid.
I really like the combination of Super Mario 64 speedrun combined with Bible in Heaven. It's just,
I mean, you like a little bit of religious flair on most of your goofs, anyways.
it's just a great combo. Farmer Weebs can't wait for Shaun and Rem to put their hands all over his package. Fantide, F-bomb, Erica McCorkle, L Bornquenya, Dylan Hayden, Daniel Riot, Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story, Cryptid MILF, Crumbslet's Bakery now has Frank's Bloodspurt Poppers, provided by Cryptid MILF, Creed 13, Country Fried Goth here to remind you that you just lost the game, Cheese Monkey, Brockhard for Geodude says he's crumbing on me till I slit loud incorrect buzzer. Jeez. Bonsai Tree, Bob Barker isekai'd into the Beastars universe with scissor hands. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
What?
That's a lot. Blake Star, Big
That's
Blue
a
Bear
lot to
Boy,
process.
Awkward Lesbian who just got a hug, Amazing Muffin, Elise Howard, Alpha Angel, AJ Hunnels sad that my wacky inflatable clown was neither wacky nor inflatable, AJ Honey, A Daze, Aaron Hegland, and Dot. And if he was reincarnated as vending machine, Oni-san would kick the shit out of him, says Misuka with certainty. Now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody will be given their own soccer team.
Okay. I mean, you could probably just look up England's and you'd have enough. Because aren't there like a stupid amount of football teams in England?
Yeah, but we gotta go global for the World Cup.
Oh, that's fair.
What does
Sorry,
Daddy
you
Rem...
just gonna name countries?
No, no, there's specific teams.
Okay.
I'm going to the global club soccer rankings. What does Daddy Rem say to Mommy Shaun? You get Manchester City. Vincent Calabrese, you get Bayern Munich. The Dungeon Master next door, you are going to get Barcelona. The Drew is tired, she is eepy, you are going to get Real Madrid. Canadian Anime Stunner, you get Liverpool. Tess Reeves, you get Arsenal. Soul, you get Newcastle. Roscop, you get good old Napoli. Roberto with the Concerto, you get Dortmund. Rare Kumiko will continue to be Sad Boy until Healer Girl is reviewed. Also, Remus Tensai, you are going to get Brighton. PL Mare, you get the Big Ol'. You are going to get RB Leipzig. Monogatari is everything you guys say you want in an anime. This week it has very cool cats and shows Nights with the Cat. You are going to get Benfica. Mike got his Overlord review. You are going to get Aston Villa. Miguel De Leon, you are going to get Atletico Madrid. Massimo Martelli, you are going to get PSG. Latino is the founder and first member of Rem's Holy Bean Nermlins, Normal Gremlins cult. You get the Big Hole. Kugor, you're going to get Inter Milan. Kafka is my mommy. You are going to get Ajax. Caden Cazellas, you are going to get Lil. I, Sean Rollins, have sexy dreams where Kirito and Remington are cheating on their lovers, Asuna and myself. You get Brentford, also nice and cursed, as always.
Yep.
I just sold my sleep schedule for 23K and I regret nothing. You get Sporting. Hellerex, you are going to get Porto. Dua, you get Chelsea. Crimson Reapers, just because of the size, you are going to get Feyenoord. Carver 271, you get Lion. Cameron Coates, you are going to get Leverkusen. Blood Cell, not the bitch white ones, you are going to get Athletic Bilbao. Beethoven 1201, you're going to get Celtic. Animated Z, you get Zenit. And Allfather creates a rift in space and time to travel to the Isekai world with all the tropes Remington hates. 14 weeks till Bonsai. You are going to get Lens. Now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will assign you a soccer position and explain how that matches your personality. We begin with Reki Kawahara.
Google's soccer positions.
I believe in you, Shaun.
Oh, there are 11 positions in soccer. I think since I watched a whole anime about it, I'd remember that, but no. You get the center back, and that's because, you know, you've always got the our back, but just the middle of it. Don't know.
Truly a fucking masterpiece.
Look, man.
Not to be confused with the centerback, which is the creature that has 100 backs. It's an abomination of God and man.
It's the distant sequel to the Human Centipede, actually.
Hey, Daddy Shaun, spelled truly delightfully, with an X and an I and a Y and a W, just all the letters, really. Wink, wink. Want to explore some holes together? Oh, wait, I need to... Hey, Daddy Shaun, wink, wink. Want to explore some holes together?
I feel like I don't need to explain anything when I say you're a goalkeeper.
And you can keep Daddy Shaun's goal any night of the week.
Dear God.
Hermione pegs Harry and Ron.
You're quite the defensive midfielder. Because let's be real, you gotta open up a bit more sometimes, you know?
You just can't take criticism. Then we get my dear old mum.
You get... Man, these aren't very interesting names, it's gotta be said. You get the left What? Left midfielder or winger. Because, well, yeah, no, not about making that joke.
Yeah, Shaun, why is my lovely mother that soccer position?
She is that soccer position because she gave the wings to my co-host so that he could be a good friend to me.
And last but not least, we got second to none.
You get to be the center forward or striker simply due to the fact that you're the last one in the list. And you know what? Hey, that's the whole premise of the story.
He's saying you're an egotistical son of a bitch. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. I have on my face.
That's how I prefer it. Ratatouille over Catatouille, bitch. Kirito's dick feels rotten in the mouth. I feel like this should be a little bit more Squid Game. Namely, more public underage pet play.
Is there any chance you'd like to watch any more Blue Lock with me?
What? No.